The trailer doesn't open with romance, fashion, or fun. It opens with silence, distance, and a version of Emily we have never seen before. Season 6 is not about falling in love in Paris anymore. It's about losing yourself, rebuilding from scratch, and finally facing the truth you've been running from. Season 6 begins with a feeling that something is broken. And the trailer makes that clear in the very first moments. Emily is still in Paris, but she no longer moves through the city like she owns it. Her smile feels smaller, her steps slower, and her confidence looks forced. This is the first time the show visually tells us that Paris is no longer her comfort zone. It's a place full of memories she can't escape. The trailer avoids bright colors at the start and leans into colder tones, showing that Emily's life has entered a more serious phase. She's no longer chasing excitement. She's surviving consequences. We see Emily standing alone in several shots, even when she's surrounded by people. That's not an accident. The trailer wants us to understand that emotionally, she is isolated. Every choice she made in past seasons is catching up to her now. Work, love, friendships, all of it feels heavier. There's no playful voiceover explaining her life. There's no funny confusion. Instead, there is tension in the silence. The show is telling us that this season is about reflection, not reaction. One key detail is how Emily listens more than she speaks. In earlier seasons, she talked her way out of every problem. In this trailer, she absorbs pain instead of escaping it. This suggests growth, but it also suggests fear. Emily knows that one wrong move could cost her everything she's built. Paris is no longer a dream. It's a test. And Season 6 is asking whether Emily truly belongs here or if she has been pretending all along. The trailer strongly hints that Emily's career is about to change in a way that scares her. We see her in unfamiliar workspaces, dealing with people who don't smile easily or welcome her ideas. This is very different from the early seasons, where her creativity was celebrated even when it caused chaos. Now, creativity comes with risk. Her job is no longer playful. It's political, emotional, and dangerous for her future. There's a moment where Emily hesitates before speaking in a meeting. That small pause says everything. She's finally aware that words have power, and power has consequences. Season 6 seems focused on showing Emily as a woman who understands responsibility for the first time. The trailer shows pressure building around her, with deadlines, expectations, and silent judgment. She's no longer the exciting outsider. She's someone who must prove she deserves her place. The visual clues are important here. Emily's outfits are more controlled, less bold, and more serious. This reflects her mental state. She's trying to fit into a version of Paris that doesn't reward innocence anymore. Her work life is no longer separate from her personal life. Mistakes at work affect her heart, and emotional choices affect her career. The trailer suggests a turning point where Emily must decide whether success is worth losing herself. Season 6 appears ready to ask a difficult question. Is Emily strong because she adapts, or has she been changing so much that she no longer knows who she is? The trailer doesn't answer that. It lets the tension sit, reminding us that this season is about choosing identity over approval. The love story in Season 6 feels quieter, but far more painful. The trailer shows Emily caught between memories rather than choices. Gabriel and Alfie are not fighting for her attention. Instead, they exist as emotional weight she can't shake. This change is important. Emily is no longer deciding who she wants. She's dealing with the damage already done. Gabriel's presence in the trailer feels unresolved and heavy. There are moments where he looks at Emily, not with hope, but with regret. The silence between them says more than words ever could. Their connection hasn't disappeared, but it's no longer romantic fantasy. It's unfinished business. The trailer suggests that love alone is not enough anymore. Timing, trust, and honesty matter now more than passion. Alfie's distance is even more telling. He's physically present, but emotionally guarded. The trailer hints that he has learned from the past, and he's no longer willing to be second choice. Emily senses this shift, and it terrifies her. For the first time, she may lose someone not because of confusion, but because of clarity. Season 6 frames love as something Emily must face honestly, not escape into. The trailer suggests that she cannot have everything anymore. Every choice has a cost. And the biggest question becomes whether Emily is strong enough to walk away from love if it means saving herself. The final moments of the trailer change everything. Camille's presence is subtle but powerful. She doesn't arrive loudly. She observes. She watches. And that's far more dangerous. The trailer suggests that Camille is no longer reacting emotionally. She's planning. Her expressions are calm, controlled, and intentional. Whatever her role is in Season 6, it won't be accidental. Paris itself feels different in these final scenes. The city looks colder, wider, and less welcoming. This visual shift reflects Emily's emotional state. Paris is no longer romantic. It's real. The trailer slows down, allowing tension to breathe. It wants the audience to feel uncomfortable, unsure, and curious. The final shot of Emily standing alone is not sad. It's powerful. For the first time, she's not chasing anyone or anything. She's standing still, thinking, deciding. Season 6 seems ready to push Emily toward a choice that defines her future, not just her relationships. The trailer ends without answers, and that's intentional. It promises a season about growth through pain, clarity through loss, and strength through honesty. Emily in Paris Season 6 is no longer about escaping reality. It's about facing it, even when it hurts. Season 6 places Emily at a point where her career is no longer exciting, flexible, or forgiving. The trailer makes it clear that her work life has shifted into something more serious and far more demanding. Emily is no longer the fresh outsider with bold ideas that shock people in a fun way. Now she is expected to deliver results without mistakes. Every look she receives in meetings feels measured. Every pause feels judged. The pressure around her is visible, and it sits on her face in a way we have never seen before. One of the strongest signals in the trailer is how Emily reacts instead of acts. In past seasons, she jumped into situations with confidence, even when she was wrong. In Season 6, she holds back. She thinks before she speaks. This change suggests growth, but it also shows fear. Emily knows that one bad move could cost her everything she has worked for. Paris is no longer impressed by her energy. It wants proof, discipline, and control. That reality hits her hard. The environments around her feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable. The offices look colder, the people feel distant, and the conversations lack warmth. This is not the Paris that welcomed her before. It's a professional world where charm doesn't protect you anymore. Emily seems to understand that she can't rely on being likable. She has to be capable. This forces her into an identity shift that doesn't come easily. She is trying to balance who she is with who she needs to be. The trailer also hints that Emily's career choices are starting to affect her personal life more than ever. Work follows her home. Stress shows up in quiet moments. Even when she's alone, her mind is clearly racing. This season suggests that success comes with isolation. The higher she climbs, the fewer people she can trust. That loneliness becomes a silent theme running through her professional journey. There is a sense that Emily is standing at a crossroads. One path offers safety, structure, and approval, but at the cost of creativity and joy. The other path offers freedom, risk, and uncertainty. The trailer never tells us which one she chooses, but it shows us how heavy that decision feels. Emily is no longer chasing dreams blindly. She is weighing losses before making gains. Her style reflects this inner conflict. The bold, playful outfits are replaced with cleaner, sharper looks. This isn't just fashion, it's armor. Emily is dressing for protection, not attention. She is preparing herself for a world that doesn't reward vulnerability. That change makes her look stronger on the outside, but the trailer suggests it may be draining her on the inside. Season 6 presents Emily as someone learning that ambition has a price. Not everyone survives the climb without losing parts of themselves. The trailer quietly asks whether Emily is ready to accept that cost, or if she will finally stop and question what success truly means to her. Season 6 treats love less like a fantasy and more like a consequence. The trailer makes it clear that Emily is no longer standing between two men who want her. Instead, she is standing between two versions of herself, both shaped by the choices she already made. The romantic tension doesn't explode with arguments or dramatic scenes. It lingers quietly, making every shared look feel heavier than words. Gabriel's presence in the trailer feels unfinished and uncomfortable. He isn't chasing Emily, and he isn't walking away either. He exists in the background of her life like a question she refuses to answer. When they share the screen, there is no warmth, only memory. Their connection feels rooted in what could have been, not what still can be. Season 6 seems to suggest that love without trust slowly turns into regret, and Gabriel represents that truth for Emily. What's striking is how little they say to each other. Silence replaces chemistry. The trailer uses pauses, distance, and missed eye contact to show that something important has been lost. Emily looks at Gabriel like someone who understands the damage but doesn't know how to fix it. This is not a story about choosing him again. It's about accepting that some love stories end without closure. Alfie's role feels different, but equally painful. He no longer waits, hopes, or questions. His body language shows restraint and self-respect. The trailer hints that Alfie has learned from being hurt, and he refuses to put himself in that position again. He is present, but guarded. His distance isn't cold. It's protective. Emily senses this shift, and it unsettles her more than rejection ever could. For the first time, Emily is not confused about her feelings. She understands what she feels. What scares her is realizing that understanding doesn't fix anything. Love doesn't erase mistakes. Timing doesn't forgive dishonesty. The trailer frames romance as something Emily must accept responsibility for, not something she can stumble into and recover from later. There are moments where Emily appears alone after interacting with both men. These scenes are important. They show that the real conflict is internal. She isn't deciding who to be with. She's deciding whether she is ready to live with the truth of her past actions. Season 6 seems determined to strip away the comfort of romantic excuses and force Emily to face emotional accountability. The visual tone supports this shift. Romantic lighting is replaced with neutral, almost distant framing. Even moments that could feel intimate are shot with space between characters. The trailer wants viewers to feel the emotional gap that words can't close. Love here is quiet, unresolved, and heavy. Season 6 presents romance as a mirror. Gabriel reflects Emily's inability to let go. Alfie reflects her fear of losing something real. Neither path is easy, and the trailer suggests that Emily may not choose either in the way audiences expect. Instead of chasing love, she may finally choose honesty, even if that means being alone. This season doesn't ask who Emily loves most. It asks whether she loves herself enough to stop repeating the same cycle. That question hangs over every romantic moment in the trailer, turning love into the most difficult challenge Emily has faced so far. Season 6 introduces Camille in a way that feels calm on the surface, but deeply unsettling underneath. The trailer does not frame her as emotional, broken, or reactive anymore. Instead, she appears controlled, thoughtful, and quietly powerful. This change matters because Camille has always been driven by emotion in the past. Now, emotion feels replaced by intention. Every look she gives, every pause she takes, feels deliberate, as if she is no longer responding to events but shaping them. What stands out most is how Camille watches instead of speaks. In several moments, she observes Emily from a distance, never rushing into confrontation. This silence is not weakness, it's patience. The trailer suggests that Camille understands the game better now. She knows when to step back and when to move forward. Her presence creates tension without action, which makes her far more dangerous than before. She doesn't need to fight for attention. She already has it. There's a strong sense that the Camille story in Season 6 is no longer about love alone. The pain she went through has changed her priorities. Romance feels secondary now. Control, dignity, and balance seem more important. The trailer hints that Camille has accepted what happened, but acceptance doesn't mean forgiveness. It means strategy. She isn't trying to win someone back. She's trying to protect herself from ever losing again. Her interactions feel carefully chosen. When she does speak, her words are measured and calm. This shift suggests growth, but also emotional distance. Camille has learned how deeply people can hurt her, and instead of reacting with chaos, she responds with structure. That evolution makes her unpredictable. The audience can no longer assume how she will act next, and that uncertainty adds weight to every scene she's in. Paris itself mirrors Camille's transformation. The city in the trailer feels colder, quieter, and less romantic. Streets are wider. Rooms feel emptier. The warmth that once surrounded Emily's life seems drained, replaced by realism. Paris no longer feels like a dream city. It feels like a place where people grow up fast or get left behind. This setting strengthens Camille's new role as someone who understands the cost of illusion. The trailer suggests that Camille and Emily are no longer equals emotionally. Emily feels unsure, pulled in different directions, still searching for balance. Camille feels grounded, almost ahead of everyone else. That shift in power is subtle but clear. Camille no longer reacts to Emily's choices. She anticipates them. This creates a quiet rivalry that doesn't rely on jealousy, but on control and awareness. There are hints of a confrontation, but not the loud kind audiences might expect. Season 6 seems to prefer emotional standoffs over dramatic fights. The tension builds through looks, silence, and moments left unfinished. Camille doesn't need to expose secrets or raise her voice. Her confidence speaks for her. She knows what she wants and, more importantly, what she will no longer accept. The final images involving Camille suggest that her arc is about reclaiming power, not revenge. She is no longer defined by heartbreak. She is defined by clarity. And that clarity places her in a position where she can influence outcomes without being at the center of chaos. Season 6 frames Camille as someone who has learned from pain instead of being consumed by it. This shift forces Emily to face a new reality. The people around her are no longer frozen in the roles she remembers. They have grown, adapted, and moved forward. Camille represents that truth more than anyone else. She is no longer part of Emily's emotional confusion. She is a reminder that growth changes everything, including who holds control in the story. Season 6 changes the way Paris feels, and the trailer makes that shift impossible to ignore. The city is still beautiful, but it no longer feels welcoming or magical. Instead of soft lighting and dreamy streets, we see colder colors, wider spaces, and quieter moments. Paris is no longer a backdrop for romance. It becomes a pressure point reflecting Emily's inner state and the emotional weight of everything she is carrying. In earlier seasons, Paris felt like a playground where mistakes were forgiven and chaos often led to charm. Season 6 removes that safety. The trailer shows Paris as a place that watches, waits, and judges. Emily walks through the city, but she no longer blends into it. She looks smaller against the buildings, more distant from the people around her. This visual choice sends a clear message. The city that once lifted her up is now testing her limits. The emotional tone of the trailer is slower and heavier. Scenes linger longer than before, allowing silence to speak. There is less movement, less noise, and fewer distractions. This pacing forces the audience to sit with Emily's emotions instead of escaping them. Paris doesn't rush her forward anymore. It holds her in place, making her confront what she has been avoiding. The city becomes a mirror, showing her who she is becoming. There is also a strong sense of isolation running through the trailer. Even in public spaces, Emily appears alone. Cafes feel quieter. Streets feel emptier. Conversations feel shorter and more careful. This doesn't mean Emily has lost everyone around her. It means she feels disconnected from the life she once loved. Paris hasn't changed completely. Emily has. And the city reflects that emotional distance back at her. Season 6 uses Paris to underline the theme of adulthood. The city feels less playful and more demanding, like a place that expects growth instead of charm. The trailer suggests that Paris no longer rewards innocence. It rewards awareness, discipline, and honesty. Emily is no longer protected by being new or different. She is expected to understand the rules now, and that realization weighs heavily on her. The emotional weight builds as the trailer progresses. Scenes feel more grounded, more real, and less stylized. This shift suggests that Season 6 wants to explore deeper questions about identity and belonging. Emily is not just asking where she fits romantically or professionally. She is asking where she belongs as a person. Paris becomes the setting where that question must be answered. Even if the answer is uncomfortable, there is a quiet tension in how the city is framed. Nothing dramatic happens, yet everything feels intense. This subtle approach makes the emotional stakes feel higher. Paris doesn't scream at Emily. It challenges her by simply existing, by continuing forward while she struggles to keep up. The city feels indifferent, which is far more frightening than open rejection. Season 6 positions Paris as a place of truth. It strips away fantasy and forces clarity. The trailer suggests that Emily can no longer hide behind excitement, love triangles, or career wins. Paris will not distract her anymore. It will hold her accountable. And through that pressure, Emily must decide whether she grows stronger or finally admits that the city she fell in love with may no longer be the place where she belongs. This shift in tone is what makes Season 6 feel heavier and more meaningful. Paris is no longer just where the story happens. It becomes part of the conflict itself, shaping Emily's journey and pushing her toward a version of herself she can no longer avoid.